pressure of trying to break through and I guess trying to overcome, like I said, the past that was weighing on you, it felt like last week. What's this week feel like, knowing that, now the goals that you want to achieve are just right in front of you, ready to take on, I guess?
I always joke that coaches live in a state of fear. So I think, no, I think every team's good at this point. And so you're trying to get every nuance you can on every team so that your team's prepared. And then you're trying to go into the gym and work on some small things that you think you can be better at in the short term. I would say my mentality is the same. We want to go in and win a volleyball match just as Louisville wants to go in and win a volleyball match.
So it's not like a freeing sensation, I guess, knowing that the pressure of getting out of your own regional is over now and it's not yours? Maybe a little bit in that little thing of home, but do I feel like, if we go and play hard, that's great? No, I'm still feeling the same pressure that I feel, and I hope they are too, of the expectation is to go win a volleyball match.
Kendra was just talk about what job your setter's done for you this year.
Yeah, she's been phenomenal. Again, Kendra does so much for us, not just setting. She's a great defender, a great blocker, great leader, can distribute the ball all over the place, and a great offensive threat. And we saw that, numerous times on especially Saturday night. So, she just does so much for the team. But, she'll be the first to say, passing opens that up, and her hitters will give credit to her. So they do a nice job of, it's a team sport. Everyone's doing their part.
How would you describe Kendra's energy and what she brings to the team in that aspect?
Kendra is a fierce competitor. And now that doesn't mean that, she does a pretty good job controlling it. She's never someone that's biting at people or anything like that. But, she and Nora get lumped together because they came in together, and their personalities couldn't be more different in both wonderful sort of ways, and I think they equalize each other. She's the kid that in practice you have to say, Kendra, that's not a wall that we want you to run into. Not that Nora's that way, but, they're just, she hates to lose so much. But, that just means that she's going to go after everything and go for everything.
How much of the
Start the season.
You want me to have them stop that?
Beginning of the season, you verbalize we want to win the national championship. We want to go to the Final Four. Did you verbalize that? And if so, where are you at on that pecking order? Did you say, yeah, we want to get through that first weekend and now we're here?
We do put some outcome-based goals up. Tampa was on our list, so we do put those less, but those are very secondary. What we talk about much more is the process goals of how do we become great, and we spend a lot of time talking about that. And so those things will mean practicing hard every day, getting a good night's sleep, staying on top of academics, role acceptance. So those are the key things, I think, to have the outcome goals that you're shooting for.
Tough stuff that you usually deal with in the fall that you actually have to deal with throughout the season. Those tough conversations with how much of the emotions was just because of how the team themselves.
I don't think in the moment I was thinking about any of that stuff. I think I was just really overjoyed for our players and our staff and our fans to get to do it at home for the first time.
What do you think of Louisville?
They're a great team. Yeah. They obviously have pieces all over the place. Local setter. Glock, Omaha kid, great coaches who I consider good friends. We'll be in for a battle. It'll be fun.
How well do you know Danny? You guys were way back,
I know Danny. Well, I knew who she was when she played at Nebraska, being from Nebraska, and then I got to know Danny when she was an assistant at Nebraska. One of her very, very best friends is also a friend of mine, so I get her updates there. And then the other big piece is the associate head coach, Dan Meskey, is Laurel Sanford's one of our alums. That's her husband. So, we've known Dan for years, and, he's a phenomenal coach. And then Todd Chamberlain I've known forever, and I love Todd. He was at Kansas. And so, I'm excited to see all those guys.
does it add to
I think you want to beat everybody, right? You know, so I think when I was a younger coach, it became kind of personal sometimes. I'd sometimes have trouble separating that. I think as I've matured, I've realized I can still want to beat someone really bad, but still have fondness for them in the process.
You mentioned this the other night about your kids being 15 years old and how fun has this ride been for you in this journey to be where you're at and to have the success that you have?
Yeah, it has. I mean, it's been a fun year. I mean, every year is going to have ups and downs. It's never perfect. I think sometimes people on the outside thinks it's bliss all the time. It's not. Every team has challenges that they go through. But I think the nice thing with this group is a lot of them, you know, our challenges have not been based on personality conflicts with themselves or with coaches. If people have been upset about things, we've had conversations and they've been able to move forward and be a good teammate. So, you know, those are the fun years when you get to spend your frustrations on, you know, things that we got to get better on the court rather than team dynamics. And, you know, you can't take those years for granted.
You've been in this position before. Your team has it. What are some of your words of wisdom to them this week?
It'll be very similar to what we said this weekend. I mean, you know, you got to go for it. And, you know, we leaned into the fact that most young women at the Division I level weren't playing last weekend. You know, we were one of 64, now we're one of 16. So cherish it, take it in, and go for it. And, you know, play for each other, you know, all the things that we've talked about all year. But you're never going to be successful if you get tight. Like, you got to go for it. So hopefully we can play loose and play well.
You and the players have both mentioned shocking the world certain times throughout this kind of, as postseason has gotten near. How much are you leaning? I mean, you're the only non-football school left in this tournament. Like, how much are you leaning into the fact that there's probably not a lot of people that are picking you to be successful this
Sure.
weekend and beyond?
You know, I'm not good at like pregame speeches, you know, like this is not my jam. You know, I'll go and just be real with them. We'll do the same thing that we do every match. And, you know, it's kind of the way I roll. I don't think there's anything special that needs to go on. I mean, we did tell them beforehand, the Minnesota, that most people weren't picking them. And, you know, I think Brian told him that, you know, and we wanted to tell him that just to go get it, you know. So, I mean, we may mention that, but I mean, that's not going to be like, that won't be like a theme all week. The theme all week will be just be us. You know, we're a good team. Be good.
Is there a challenge in that first match against another team that's not the home team and the gym is going to be empty,
Yeah.
without your support? Is there a challenge about bringing your own energy?
Absolutely. You know, we'll talk about our bench that way. And, you know, the question is, can we get the ACC fans not to root for Louisville, or do they hate each other enough that the Pitt fans will root for us? I don't know. So it'll be fun. I don't know. I've had predictions both ways. I guess I could ask the Blue Jay fans, if Marquette was playing here, would they be rooting for Marquette, or would they say no? So, but anyway, yeah, no, I think that's a real thing that we will discuss is, you know, how are we creating energy? And we've played in plenty of gyms over the years that sometimes you have great atmosphere and sometimes you've got to create the energy. So we've had to do that before.
You talked about pregame. I want to talk about postgame against Minnesota. You came in and the girls were just dousing you with water. How was that moment like, knowing that your team back to 110% has the utmost respect and you're going to take that as far as you can this season?
Well, on a practical level, I'm not a big fan of getting doused with water. And I ran away at the Big East tournament, and I told myself I would not do that this time. So I tried to lean into it. But no, it was awesome. You know, it was a great joy. It was up there with one of my top wins as a coach that I've had. And just to do it with all of our fans and such a great group. It was a lot of fun. But it is interesting. I woke up the next day, and I was like, all right, got to move on. I kind of gave, you know, we enjoyed it Saturday night, and now it's all about getting ready for the next round.
Can you comment on your shoes? Because I feel like you have one of the flyest shoes right now. Creighton symbol and all those are amazing.
Yeah, we had a supporter get these shoes for our team on Friday, and they are pretty amazing. The whole thing is decked out in J stuff. Even the interior has the J logo, and they're pretty. I don't know what the right word is. Fly, cool. What's groovy? Hip. Okay.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys. You should edit some of those things out.